Did you know that the Queen of Action herself, Charlize Theron, once had a gun pointed at her by her own father inside their home? Behind that icy beauty and sharp screen presence lies a childhood filled with trauma and scars that never truly faded. Charlize isn't just famous for her acting talent and fierce female roles. She's a symbol of rebirth. From a little girl who once stole bread to survive, she rose to become a Hollywood icon who conquered the world. This video will uncover the untold dark chapters of her life and reveal a collection of deeply private, rarely seen photos of Charlize. Don't look away. This story will send chills down your spine once you learn the full truth.
Of course I liked him. Roy was a likable guy.
Charlize, the talented and resilient actress, conquered the world with her haunting portrayal of serial killer Eileen Wuornos in Monster, a performance that earned her the prestigious Oscar and proved her unmatched acting depth. Around the same time, she starred alongside Nicole Kidman and Margot Robbie in Bombshell, embodying a courageous woman in a powerful story about sexual harassment at Fox News. Behind her current success, however, Charlize once faced unimaginable pain, something she has spoken about in interviews with National Public Radio. She was born in Benoni, South Africa, where her childhood was marked by illness, loneliness, and fear. As a young child, she suffered from severe jaundice and was on antibiotics for so long that all her teeth fell out. It wasn't until she turned 11 that her smile returned. Yet physical pain was nothing compared to the long nights spent listening to her father's drunken rages. Her father, Charles Jacobus Theron, was an alcoholic, volatile, verbally abusive, and terrifying. Charlize grew up fearing the sound of his car pulling into the driveway, the door slamming open in the middle of the night. Then, one June evening in 1991, everything went too far. Her Aunt Elsa called with a warning, "Your father's drunk. Something bad is going to happen." Moments later, Charles came home armed with a gun, shouting and pounding on doors, threatening to kill his wife and daughter. Charlize and her mother, Gerda, locked themselves inside a room, clinging to each other as bullets tore through the door. Miraculously, none hit them. In an act of desperate self-defense, Gerda fired back, killing Charles and ending years of torment. The police ruled it a justifiable act, and no charges were filed. But for Charlize, the trauma never truly faded. She spent years in therapy learning to forgive and to live beyond the fear. Just when she thought the past was behind her, it resurfaced again. The book, Killer Women: Fatal South African Females by Chris Karsten revisited the incident, even suggesting her mother might not have been entirely innocent. Charlize was furious not only at the insinuation, but also at the betrayal of those who had promised silence, including her Aunt Elsa, who publicly denied that her father had been abusive, calling the shooting a mistake. To Charlize, that was unforgivable. "They weren't there that night," she said in an interview. "They didn't hear the gunshots. They didn't feel the terror we lived through." Still, her mother remained her greatest source of strength.
My brothers and sisters screwed me royal. Because after my dad had killed himself.
At 16, Charlize won a local modeling contest and moved to Milan to pursue a career. She dreamed of becoming a dancer, and modeling was just a stepping stone. But after a year of struggling in a small, windowless apartment, a knee injury ended her ballet ambitions, plunging her into depression. Once again, her mother refused to let her give up. She bought Charlize a one-way ticket to Hollywood, hoping it would mark the beginning of a new life. Charlize's early years in Los Angeles were a grueling struggle for survival. She lived off the small allowance her mother sent from South Africa, survived on instant noodles, and was often evicted from apartments for not being able to pay rent. In 1995, she landed her first role in Children of the Corn 3, Urban Harvest. A tiny part, but for her, it was a rare opening into the world of film. Not long before that, Charlize had faced a horrifying experience that many young women in Hollywood sadly shared. A well-known director invited her to his home for what was supposed to be an audition, only to make an unwanted advance. Terrified and humiliated, she fled the house. For years afterward, she was haunted by guilt, as if she had done something wrong. There was a moment when she nearly gave up entirely. One afternoon, while arguing heatedly with a bank clerk after her mother's check was rejected, Charlize stood on the edge of despair, broke, exhausted, and on the verge of being homeless. But fate intervened. A man standing behind her, John Crosby, a veteran talent manager, had witnessed the entire scene. Impressed by her fiery spirit and determination, he approached her, handed over his business card, and opened the first real door into Hollywood. From that moment, Charlize began receiving legitimate casting calls. Her first speaking role came in 2 Days in the Valley, but her striking beauty quickly became a double-edged sword. She was typecast in seductive shallow roles that didn't reflect her talent. Determined to be seen as more than a pretty face, she turned down several lucrative offers, convinced that she was born to act, not just pose. Her persistence paid off when Tom Hanks chose her for That Thing You Do, a moment that felt like her childhood dream finally coming true. Hanks's approval was her first real validation that she wasn't just beautiful, she was capable. From there, Charlize's career gained steady momentum with films like The Devil's Advocate, Mighty Joe Young, and The Cider House Rules. Each role marked a step forward in her evolution as an actress. But it was Monster, 2003, that changed everything. Disappearing completely into the role of a female serial killer, Charlize delivered a performance so raw and transformative that the world was left speechless. And the Academy honored her with the Oscar that sealed her place among Hollywood's finest. Yet, beyond her professional success, Hollywood tabloids were far more interested in digging into Charlize's secret love life. In April 2009, when she was first seen publicly with Sean Penn, who would later become her husband, the media exploded with rumors about growing cracks in her relationship with Stuart Townsend. Stories of jealousy, misunderstandings, and their inability to fully go public with their relationship began to surface. The constant attention created an intense atmosphere that forced both Charlize and Townsend to battle not only their personal struggles, but also the relentless scrutiny of the public eye. Charlize, known for her independence and fierce sense of freedom in love, often clashed with Townsend's desire for stability and emotional closeness. He reportedly felt overshadowed, as though he didn't hold a significant enough place in her fast-paced life. Over time, their differing views on love, career, and personal space became barriers too difficult to overcome. What once seemed like a strong, unbreakable bond came to an end in 2010, leaving behind a trail of heartbreak and lessons learned. From that painful breakup, Charlize emerged stronger and wiser. She learned to love and value herself more deeply, turning personal loss into empowerment. That turbulent love story became not just a sad chapter of her life, but also a testament to the resilience of a woman who refused to be defeated by heartbreak. Beyond her well-known relationships with Stuart Townsend and Sean Penn, Charlize Theron's private life holds many secrets few have ever known. In Hollywood, a world obsessed with image and reputation, keeping her love life private was not just a preference, but a survival strategy. Protecting her heart meant protecting her peace from the endless gossip and speculation that came with fame.
Believe it? That's true. It's amazing that you slept through that. You're a good sleeper.
Close friends in the industry have quietly revealed that Charlize once had quiet, meaningful relationships with men outside the entertainment world, ordinary people far removed from the spotlight. These romances, kept completely under wraps, were deeply emotional and lasting, yet never captured by the press. No photos, no statements, no leaks. This discretion has only fueled public curiosity about the real Charlize, the woman behind the fame. Because while other stars flaunted their relationships, she chose the power of silence. Charlize's love life wasn't just marked by quiet romances, it also included complex secret relationships that were deliberately kept hidden for sensitive reasons. Rumors circulated that she had at times been involved in short-term relationships with powerful figures in the entertainment industry, connections that, if exposed, could have led to unwanted consequences. These encounters often unfolded behind closed doors, requiring great wisdom and emotional control to balance personal feelings with a rapidly rising career. In a rare interview, Charlize once hinted that she had been deeply hurt in the past, but chose silence not out of fear, but out of respect for those involved and for her own peace of mind. There were also whispers about her close emotional bonds with certain same industry friends, relationships nurtured in complete privacy, far from the public gaze. For Charlize, love wasn't necessarily about grand displays or media attention. It was about genuine connection, trust, and quiet endurance. Her discretion became her strength. It allowed her to maintain balance between the dazzling glare of fame and the sanctuary of her private life, enabling her to focus on her career and her roles as a mother and partner when the time was right. Yet, secrecy came with its own cost. It brought moments of loneliness and immense psychological pressure. Charlize has admitted that constantly hiding aspects of her personal life sometimes made her feel suffocated and disconnected. There were times she longed to live openly, to exist without the weight of gossip, without having to brace herself for misinterpretations and false rumors. Still, through resilience and determination, she chose to take control of her own story to build sacred private spaces that no one could invade. These hidden relationships, though seldom discussed, form an essential part of Charlize Theron's emotional journey. They taught her the meaning of self-worth, how to protect her freedom, and how to preserve her dignity in a world full of temptation and judgment. One of the most significant scandals that deeply affected Charlize Theron's personal life and public image was her relationship with actor Sean Penn in 2013. When the two Hollywood powerhouses went public with their romance, all eyes immediately turned toward them, not just because of their fame, but also because of Penn's turbulent past, marked by failed marriages and controversial behavior. The overwhelming attention soon became a heavy, invisible burden for Charlize, who had always tried to keep her private life shielded from public drama. A defining moment that exposed the intensity of this pressure came during the 2014 Cannes Film Festival. What should have been a joyful occasion for them to celebrate love in the spotlight turned into a media storm. Cameras followed their every move, every glance, every touch, dissecting their behavior with obsessive scrutiny. Photos of the couple circulated online within hours, sparking heated debates across social media and tabloids alike. Many fans began questioning the authenticity of their relationship, while old stories about Sean Penn's temper resurfaced, amplifying the tension surrounding the pair. The public, ever quick to judge, couldn't resist speculating about their romance. Rumors and criticisms spread like wildfire, magnifying every minor detail and transforming their love story into a public spectacle. The reactions were sharply divided. Some admired them as a glamorous power couple, while others harshly condemned the relationship. The constant spotlight put immense strain on both Charlize and Sean, not only from the press, but also from their own followers. What's truly admirable, however, is how Charlize handled the scandal. Instead of allowing it to consume her, she chose composure and grace. She remained focused on her craft, her family, and the values that truly mattered to her. While the world debated and speculated, Charlize Theron stood firm, proving once again that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it simply stays silent. Do you know more about this story? Share your thoughts in the comments below. After years of high-profile romances and public scandals, Charlize Theron finally found peace in the role of motherhood. She adopted 2 children, a boy named Jackson and a girl named August, and devoted herself fully to building a loving home where her kids could grow up surrounded by boundless affection and absolute safety. Becoming a mother didn't just change how Charlize viewed life. It also gave her a new source of inspiration for her emotionally rich performances on screen. Motherhood awakened a quiet inner strength within her, one that made her image as a Hollywood icon feel more genuine, grounded, and human than ever before. Beyond her family, Charlize is also known for her simplicity and deep commitment to humanitarian values. She actively participates in charitable work and campaigns advocating for women's and children's rights, especially against domestic violence and in support of immigrants. Her personal life, therefore, extends far beyond romance. It's about compassion, service, and using her influence to bring light into other people's lives. Through these efforts, she has become not just an actress, but a force of empathy and empowerment. Charlize has often said that despite her fame, she refuses to let the spotlight blur her sense of self. She cherishes the quiet moments, private trips, simple evenings with friends, and peaceful afternoons at home with her children. These are the times when she finds balance between the immense pressures of her career and her personal happiness. In Charlize's world, Freedom and privacy are sacred treasures to be protected above all else. Charlize Theron is not only a symbol of beauty and talent on the big screen, but also an embodiment of resilience. A woman who has faced hardship, heartbreak, and scrutiny, yet continues to rise with grace and strength. Through every relationship, every scandal, and every untold chapter, she has written a story that goes far beyond fame. The story of a woman who loves deeply, lives authentically, and never stops evolving. What do you think about Charlize Theron's life and the untold stories that shaped her? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you'd like to discover more hidden Hollywood stories and unseen sides of your favorite stars, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a video.